So today we are talking hooded eyes, tips and techniques to kind of help enhance your hooded or semi-hooded eye shape. For me, some people may not classify me as having a hooded eye, but I feel like I have a hooded eye for sure after years of doing makeup and working with different, people and eye shapes. For sure, I know that my eye is hooded because I don't have like the most defined crease. I do have a little bit more lid space than a more severe hooded eye, because some people can have like very tiny lid spaces to work with. So I do have a little bit more lid space, but which is for people who aren't, because I might be just speaking like makeup terminology. So if you're like a beginner, let me just zoom in here so you can kind of see it without makeup. Now I feel like my eye's gonna twitch because it's like on camera and being it. Oh, it twitched. Oh my goodness. So twitching eye. But anyway, this is my lid space here. My crease is kind of, let me use a brush to kind of show the definition. I guess it would be just like more defined like up in here, but where most people's crease, if they have like a deep crease, kind of sets in, mine sets more out. So that's what I define as a more hooded eye space, because when I close my eyes and they fold up, the crease isn't really definitive, and I have to create that or attempt to create that when I want to do certain eye looks or wear eyeshadow and just want that larger eyelid space look. So let's jump into this video, guys. If you are of course interested in seeing it, please stay tuned. Kind of a disclaimer, I do this is like my studio / office space, and I tried to kind of tidy it up, but I have a lot of work stuff back there, so it probably just looks like just in shambles. So don't judge me. I am still a YouTube amateur, and I have to step my background game up, So I start off every look, not just on myself, but on my clients as well. For the most part, clean the skin, moisturize skin, but I always start by priming or putting some gel, what is this called, brow gel, in the brows to kind of just start creating the shape. And this is a good tip. I feel like this has changed my routine with my application as far as makeup drastically. First official tip for your hooded eyes, boom, you always want to prep and prime. So most times if you have and this is what I'm using here, should kind of beat up, focus. It is the Louise eye bases in Rumor 05 and 06. I just kind of mix them together. Most times if you have a hooded eye, you could have creasing in your eye, and that can produce oil. So sometimes, like if you do have a heavier crease, or your crease sits outward and is hooded over your lid space, you'll see that you may put on eyeshadow and it creases. It's like separating, after your application, and that's very frustrating. I'm focused in the brush, but yeah, it's just a flat brush. I don't know if it's synthetic or not, but I'll definitely look that up for you guys and list it down below. And I'm just mixing that together into like a paste, and I'm going to start with it. The mirror was down here and I'm like looking into the bronzer. I'm going to start with that directly under my brows. And I'm not going to make it real like sharp or defined. Well, I am sort of defining the brow for but I'm not doing it like in this perfect way, because I'm going to take that down and put it all over the eye and onto your mobile lid, because this is going to act as your base. And you could be like me and perfect it out. Let me zoom you guys in so you can see better. yeah, you could be like me and kind of just like, you know, be picky over it. If you want to perfect it out, of course, with your lines and everything. Or you can kind of just go crazy. But sometimes it does benefit to just take a little extra step to just make sure your lines are straight. Saves you time at the end when you're like going back to do your brows. And I'm just kind of blending it. But also with bases like this, you want to pat it onto the eye so it doesn't shear out too much. I just kind of blend out on the edges so it's not looking all janky. And we're going to do the same on the other eye. This is like ultimately ensure that your eyes aren't creasing up and oil is separating your shadow is to set it. You can either use a like a neutral tone shadow, or you can use a setting powder. I'm just going in with a little bit of the Sacha Buttercup. But a really good and simple tip to enhance those eyes is to always go above your natural crease. So a lot of times it's kind of hard to find. A lot of people use like the method where you're just like putting the brush. This is just like a fluffy. I gotta remember to show you guys these things. The tutorial, hello guys, is perfect because it'll, you know, fit into what you're trying to create as a crease. And it's always best to like look down when you're doing this, like so you want to hold your mirror or whatever you're using and looking down, because you can kind of carve that space out. And for me, when the eye folds, the crease is like here, but I'm going to place it like up here closer along my brow bone area to just kind of create some shape and widening up this lid space here. Alright, so I just wanted to make sure my placement was on. So I did start a little bit. So what you want to do is, of course, one of my like tips is like always just hold your mirror down low, because when you're looking up you can see like the depth, because like when you look up like this you have to fold your eye up, or sorry, you didn't see that. So when you look down like this, you can kind of, your eyes stretch down and you can kind of see some sort of depth. If you're holding your I want this to get a fake focus, but if you're holding your mirror or whatever you're using straight forward, it's going to, it can help, but then again sometimes like you'll hold your eye up and you'll lose where you're trying to create your crease at. So I always hold mine low. With Mystic on, so I switched my brush because the other one was a little bit too fluffy. This brush is a Morphe M433. It's a little bit more dense. Bam, a little bit more dense. So it's not like moving the colors around all over the place. So yeah, this is nice. Yeah, this is a little bit, it's like a blackish, blackberry, purpley color. And I'm also taking the shadow all the way in. Like some people do color, looks with color and like stop halfway, but I'm taking it all the way in because I'm truly just trying to define my crease area, or make a new crease, that is. Because because the crease area that I have is, you know, love the skin that you're in, but sometimes, you know, you want to embellish and enhance. So I'm just taking a clean brush, clean fluffy shadow brush or blender brush, and I am blending out the edges. I'm going to use for my lid color, I'm going to use this kind of pinky, champagne-y, rose goldish color. It's called I'm saying it's called champagne. It reminds me of a champagne, but it's called Bling Bling. It has like a pink essence to it, but it's not quite gold, not quite silver, so champagne is what I'm getting from it, you know. And this is like a no-name brush, but it's like a flat synthetic brush for the eyes. And kind of the like trend here when you're doing your eye makeup for hooded eyes, you want to use like smaller tools. Like you want your tools to be a little bit more detailed, like the shape, because they're going to have to get in not so large areas. And I'm just being very careful. I always start in the middle part of my mobile lid to make sure, like, I just like the way that color looks, and it kind of always shows if it's I don't know, if it just kind of brings some like light to the eye, and it does. It's a really pretty color. It's cute. Picking it up. Put a little bit more spray on here. And it kind of turns it into like a kind of like a liquid shadow, where you can kind of move it around differently, or just kind of, yeah, it's not like chalky and like falling out and all flaky. Move it around so that you're like creating that shape that you want. It's not gonna look perfect at first. You gotta take your time. So just kind of taking the edge of the brush and marrying it with my fake crease that I created. Okay, so for an added pop to my eyes, I'm going to add a pigment, which is like one of my favorite pigments. MAC has these pigments, they're called like reflex pigments. Get it out, girl. And this one is Reflex Pink. In the center of my eyes, I'm just gonna add a little bit more, because primers and bases are very essential to the eye when you have a little bit of a hooded lid. Again. This is a glitter primer by NYX. And I'm just gonna pat a little bit of that one because it is a looser pigment. It's not classified as a glitter, but it's a loose pigment and it has glitter particles, and I want to make sure that it sticks. Excuse me, a little burp, a little baby burp. And I just kind of always like tap into that because it's pasty. And I'm gonna pop that in the center. So it's nice and tacky. third tip, I am going in with a gel liner by Inglot, number 77 gel liner, and a fine detail brush, which is a Midnight RS1 eyeliner brush. Again, fine detail tools for that hooded eye. Fine detail tools, remember that, guys. And I'm going to create like a slight wing. That's another tip that kind of helps lift your eyes or draws your eye to look a little bit larger, or just a little bit more defined when you have a hooded or a smaller eye space, is the wing liner. Okay, so this is just like a rough liner here, and I'm going to just emulate that on this eye. I did this eye first. I'm gonna clean it up too with some concealer in a second, but I did this eye first because this is just the eye that always kind of gives me problems, and it was twitching, so I was like, let me just do it off camera because I did not want this eye to embarrass me. So I always kind of just start at in the middle, just to kind of looking drastically bigger or just wider and more enhanced than they did initially without makeup, and I'm just loving it. Put my brows on, applied my brows. I used the Benefit brow pencil, or is this, no, this is the, which one is this? This is the Goof Proof brow. Looks like this. It's the thicker one. And the shade is in 5, which is a little dark, but yeah, that's what I use. My eyebrows do look a little thick. They probably need to be like waxed or something. I don't do a lot of maintenance with my eyebrows without makeup, so don't judge. But as a bonus 5th step, I would say definitely lashes. So a lot of people are afraid of lashes, so this could be a little intimidating for the person who is afraid of lashes. But if you have a more hooded lid or a smaller eye, sometimes lashes really do bring your eyes out and give it that definition and just what it needs. It's just, it gives it that umph. It's like, I'm giving you all of this, and the lashes is like psh, for the razzle dazzle. I'm going to stack my lashes. So these are like a faux mink lashes, if they're focusing, hopefully so. So again, they have been used, so they probably look a little gooky and nasty, but this one is a little bit wispier. It's a bit of a wispier lash. And then this one is like a little bit spikier, but it's fuller. So we're gonna stack them, and I think I'm gonna do the wispier lash at the bottom and this fuller, spikier one at the top to really give it that umph. I do have on one set of lashes on this eye, and I'm gonna do the other one on camera. My camera, the battery was dying. So I'm back after fixing that lash. It was a debacle. Just kidding. I just had to like reposition it a little bit off the eye. Of the eyes. Hopefully my lashes don't look like shit. And we're just, of course, going to clean up the eyeliner and do the foundation, and just kind of keep watching and just see how I finish the rest of the face, guys. and now this is the finalized look. If you have stayed tuned to the end of the video, just trying to fluff my hair. I hope you guys enjoyed learning my tips, and I hope that the lighting wasn't too bad. Again, like I said, I started filming in the daytime. The sun goes down pretty early, and the sun went down on me, so the lighting probably looks drastically different from beginning to end, and I'm so sorry about that. Again though, if you enjoyed these tips on how to help enhance your hooded or your folded eyes, I just hope that you utilize them. If you try some of the tips and you want to just kind of comment down below, tell me how they worked for you. And if you guys just sincerely enjoyed the video, just please give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe if you are new to my channel, and of course just comment down below, and then also if you have some tips that you would like to share, feel free to share them. Thank you guys so much. Bye.